Good day to all of you wonderful viewers out there. Hi, I'm Awesome Joe, and thank you guys so much for taking in the time of your day to watching another episode of Awesome Joe's Play Back-to-Back Movie Reviews. And today we are going to be talking about the Forever Purge. Now, I know it's been almost an entire month for me to do a review such as this, and believe me, I wasn't even going to go ahead and do a review off of this movie, nor was I even going to go watch the movie in theaters. But since I am married to the most beautiful woman in the entire world, she went ahead and recommended to go and watching this movie. So we went to go and watch it. She's a huge Purge fan. She loves all of the other movies. Me in particularly, I've only seen the first, the second, the third. I have not seen the first Purge, and I have not seen the USA TV series. But I'm familiar with the franchise. I'm familiar with this world that Blumhouse has made. It's already been about about a good 10 years now since the first Purge movie. So this has become a huge thing in the world of horror movies. And the Forever Purge is actually the first Purge movie that I've ever watched in the theaters. I've never watched another Purge. I've only seen them when I bought my wife the complete set of all the other movies. So, but like I said, I have not watched the first Purge, and apparently that's the origin movie to the entire thing as to how the whole thing started. So I'm a little curious after watching this movie as to how that movie went about. So there might come a time when I would, if I have the opportunity to go ahead and watch that. But for right now, we are talking about the Forever Purge. This movie was supposed to be coming out last year in the summer, in July, but because of the whole pandemic, we had to set it aside and wait for a more opportune time to go back to the movie theaters and watch this movie. So now that it's here, now that we went ahead and went to the theaters and watched it, what do I personally think? Well, of course, my wife, she just loved it. But for me, to be honest, I thought I was going to hate it. But apparently not. Good thing, too. I had a great time with it. I really did. Like I said, I'm not a fan of it. I don't like the idea of because I remember watching the first movie, and right away in my head I said, there's just no way that something like this could ever happen. I just don't see it. I don't see the aspects of how something so crucial, something so dark can be brought into reality. But I mean, life surprises you. Who's to say that it wouldn't? But by the way I feel, because I'm a biblical man. I go to church. I know the Word of God, and I'm not going to be preaching about this, but I just want to go ahead and throw it out there and say that murder is murder, regardless of what politics say. Well, no matter what the law or the governments do, murder is murder. Period. And I just having to know the idea that, oh, okay, the entire United States of America is given the opportunity to murder. Well, one of the things is like all crime is legal for 12 hours. And then I mean, I just did, like, wow, out of all of the time during the day, those 12 hours have to be during the nighttime. It's like, you have to really keep things scary going. So I couldn't fall for it. I couldn't really feel that much attached and say that, oh, the reason why they're doing this is for the good of mankind, for the good of America, to let out all that stress and anger. And I'm like as if therapists aren't doing their job. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, this is the rich taking over the country, and I'm like, you know, evil rich people, and I'm just like, wow, really? I mean, America is supposed to be like the greatest country in the entire world, and it's all going to hell because people who are given the charge of running this country decides to go ahead and put it into hell as well. And I'm just like, I could not get that. I could not really understand as to how is it that America would allow something so crucial to happen. And then I'm thinking, it's like, you say that it's for the good of mankind, but yet you're allowing the people to murder and keeping those murderers alive. If anybody were to have died, it would be the murderers themselves. So I couldn't really go for it. I did like the first movie, like I said, didn't really fall for it. The second movie, the more than I started to acknowledge of how this world was put together. The second movie actually got more of my attention, and the second movie, The Purge Anarchy, is one of my personal favorites. The Purge election year, I saw the first 5 minutes. I didn't like it. I was already bored. I'm like, what are we watching? But then I gave it a second shot, and then I watched the entire thing. It was okay. Anarchy is still better. Election year is right around the same levels as the first film. And like I said, didn't watch the first Purge. And now here we are, the Forever Purge. And the Forever Purge, it doesn't make sense to me, because isn't this movie taking place right after the election year? Where, throwing this out here already, I mean, you guys know already. The film's already out. You haven't watched it yet, then that's your fault. Spoiler alert out there. My videos are always going to contain spoilers. Like I said, don't have time to be keeping everything to myself when there's so much that I would love to talk about. So here we go. Spoiler alert. Election year, they finally got the right person, elected, and now she has completely gotten rid of the Purge and putting America back to the way it was. But now we got the Forever Purge, and we got a purge that's going on, and it's like as if election year never happened. So I'm just like, okay, so what does that mean? I didn't really understand that. So was there something that I missed in the Purge TV series, which, by the way, didn't get that very much attention? I think it only lasted a season. So, but yeah, I guess this is more of a new take on the world of the Purge, saying, okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and boot out election year and just say we're gonna keep on going with purges for 12 hours every year still. Okay, so I guess we're there. This movie is directed by Everardo Valero Gaut. Never heard of him before, and I looked him up. Not that much work in his resume. I think this is his first directorial debut, and so it's not bad. Not bad for a first directorial debut. I think that he still needs a lot of work, but still a good job. Not that I'm saying that this movie is the best movie of all time. No, heavens, no, nowhere even near that. But this movie stars Adela, which is played by Ana de la Reguera. I think that's how you say it. Forgive my pronunciations. Once more again, as you guys are familiar with my channel, I am terrible at pronunciations, and it's Mexican names too. I mean, I'm Hispanic, but I'm not familiar with the names. Then we got another character, her husband Juan, played by Tenoch Huerta. I think that's how you say it. They are illegal immigrants crossing from the border of Mexico. They are members of the cartel, just running away from that life and joining a new life in the American land that we first see at the first 5 minutes of the film. And you would say, like, yeah, you know, we do know that Mexico has its problems. I mean, America has its problems too. Don't get me wrong. America is the greatest country in the entire world because you know, but it still has its flaws. You know, there's so in reality terms, yes, it does have its flaws. But I would wonder if they went ahead and crossed the border into America knowing about the Purge. Because the Purge only exists in America. It is not within Mexico or Canada or anywhere else throughout the entire world. So this is just a U.S. thing. But as soon as they cross the border, now they're part of this Tucker Ranch. You got a character named Dylan, played by Josh Lucas, which we all know who he is. Then his wife, Emma Kate, played by Cassidy Freeman. Then you get his sister named Harper, played by Levin Rambin. And then I love this guy. I love seeing him. Every time I see him, I'm just like, hey, I love this guy. He's a really cool actor. His father, Caleb, played by Will Patton. I remember seeing him the very first time on Remember the Titans. I know he's in so many other movies, but he's very familiar by that one. And then you get the character Darius, played by Sammy Rottibi. So that's very much the whole cast. And yeah, there's going to be some deaths. Yes, there's going to be some. But apparently no. I from what I know, that there is no gore in this. This movie is rated R, but yet there is no gore. So that was a really huge question mark on that. Each and every single one of these movies do have a political message, and this one is actually referring to racism and, you know, just immigrations. So from where I'm standing, I am a U.S. citizen, but I am married to a Mexican woman, and I happen to live in a town that's a border town right next to the border of Mexico. So in a way, I can understand how this story goes and where it's coming from. And it's great when I go and watch a movie and I completely understand as to how these characters are feeling or what they're experiencing. Especially with characters like the Tucker family, taking in these the Mexican immigrants, joining their ranch and becoming very good friends and associates to their business. So I found that this movie just had to deal with, when it comes to, no matter what situation, could be the Purge, could be the end of the world, could be anything. It doesn't matter. You could be Mexican, American, Canadian, Russian, Australian, whatever, whatnot, Japanese. Doesn't matter. We're all human beings. We all have 2 eyes, 2 ears, mouth, 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 legs. We're all the same human being. We may look different, and we may come from different cultures, different backgrounds, but we are all human beings. So I like the way that political message really stood out there. And they had their differences at the beginning of the film, but because of the situation, it led to where they put aside their differences and they worked together in order to survive. So I liked the idea. I really did like it very much. So the entitlement of the film Forever Purge has its meaning because I've never even seen a movie trailer to this movie. I knew it was out there. I knew it was in development. I knew it was coming, but I never got to watch the trailer. I never really got to know what the story was. But then when I was watching it with my wife in the theaters, I was scratching my head a little bit because you get the adrenaline and the anticipation rolling in you when the Purge was starting and the Purge was already ongoing, and you thought that, okay, we're in the Purge now, this is going to be the entire movie. But then morning hits and you're just wondering, it's like, that's it? I didn't understand that. I'm like thinking, because I've got the characters Adela and Juan, who are in a immigrant shelter since they can't really financially support themselves against the Purge. You just see this huge bright light, and you assume that it's the sun. For me, I thought it's a trap. These guys are getting paid to kill all of these immigrants. That's what I thought. I'm like thinking, oh, that's not daylight. Those are just high beam lights, making you feel like it is daytime and the purge is over with, and you just step right on outside of that shelter, and boom, you're dead. You know, that's what I thought what was going to happen, but no, it was morning time. The purge was over with, and everybody went about back on their ways, including the Tucker family. They're rich. They're rich people. They hide behind they hide in their homes with a highly security system. And then the morning hits, the everything is unlocked, everything's put away, everybody's back outside, going back to everyday life, but not entirely. This is where things get interesting. This is the first time I've ever seen this within these Purge movies, is that the Purge takes place during the daytime. And I'm like, oh wow, look at that. I found it to be more of an edge-seater, with the film taking place more in the daytime than it does at the night. We do have several moments in the film where it does take place during the nighttime, but during the daytime, I found it to be more interesting, more intriguing, and I had a great time with that. Of course, you do get a lot of driving sequences going on, and there are some killings, but like I said, the gore is not really in this film. I think that's something that the movie did miss out on. And like I mentioned earlier, the character Darius was in this for a little bit. He's like Adela's boss, and they run into each other. They help each other out against some of these purgers, which they call themselves the Ever Afters. And so what I loved, and the character Darius just runs off and says, "Oh, I got to go take care of my family. Don't worry about me." He just takes off, and we don't even know what happens to him then. I mean, for sure he got himself killed, but because of the way this movie ended. But the way I see it is that I think that these characters really, you didn't really grow so attached to them, but yet the majority of them survived, and the other of them seemed like as if you thought that they were going to be part of the Purge, or they were going to get killed off, but yet they happen to have survived all the way through till the ending of the film. So that really kept me in a very interesting state. So the way I look at it is that these Purge movies have what this movie does not: a limitation. A limitation, because the way the Purge runs is that it's only set for one night for 12 hours. That's the limit. This one, the Purgers are taking a stand and saying, enough is enough. We're not running by your rules anymore. The Purge has to keep going on. And everybody, because everybody continues to keep on hiding behind their doors and keeping away from having to killing those people. And now that they're out and about, now it's their opportunity to go ahead and go after them. And they're just saying, you know what? We have a goal. We have new rules, and they're gonna go through it. They're rogue purgers, and it's not just within this in particular area on the borderline of America and Mexico, but it's actually throughout the entire U.S. This was something that was organized and put together not only against America, but against the people who invented the Purge, the founding fathers of the Purge. So things are getting out of control. It felt more of like a zombie movie than it did more of a Purge movie, which I really didn't have a problem with it at all. This thing really expanded. It's something that ended the film completely different to what the others did, because quite normally it's a state of survival only lasting within those 12 hours. This time it is a fight for survival, not to a certain limited time, but more of a more secured location, which is of course crossing the border. Actually, there is a time limit within a 6-hour limit, and allowing the people who are not purging for more safety because Mexico and Canada are allowing for the ones who want to live to cross into their borders and away from this whole entire purge. So they only had a 6-hour limit, so they had to get there immediately before they closed down. But things get more out of control and they decided to close those borders earlier, so they had to find another way to sneak into Mexico instead of just crossing that border. So things really do get crazy here. We don't really have a main antagonist in this movie either. There is one, but it's only there for a small amount of time, and really has no in particular reason of being part of the movie. Just the fact of saying, "Oh, okay, let's just go ahead and throw this guy in here. We don't really know who he is, but he's just there. He's just there." So, but yeah, it's just there's so many people I thought that was going to get killed off, but instead they happen to have lived towards the end, and I'm just like, okay, I get it, I get you. Yeah, this movie, dude, this is like completely different other stuff. And the way that you would think that this whole thing would end to where they completely end this entire purge going on, this forever purge that's going on. But no, it's still going on, and they try. The government is trying to stop them from continuing on with this purge, because now what they're doing is completely out of hands. And the people of America did take it. The purgers did take over the U.S., and it's like, okay, what's going to happen now? And you just see it from from a big open point of view, and you're just like, wow, this is like huge. This is dark. And according to the people who are responsible for these Purge movies, say that they have an in particular idea for a sixth film. Apparently, this movie is supposed to be the final film for the Purge series of movies, but they say that they have an idea for a sixth film, and if this movie is as successful as they expected it to be, and that the fans would want a sixth Purge movie, then they would go ahead and say, all right, well, let's go ahead and give our fans what they're asking for. But apparently, from what I know, is that not many critics and audiences were very fond of the movie. Do I find that it would be enough for them to make a sixth movie? I'm not entirely sure, but they have ideas, and they're ready to go ahead and greenlight this thing. I don't know how much money this movie has been making, but on Rotten Tomatoes, they went ahead and gave it a 48%. So that's quite around the same time frame, the percentage range that I have for this movie, giving it a 51%. So I liked it, but then there were also some bad aspects to the movie that really drew me off. But I had a great time with it. I had a great time with it. Like I said, I would not have watched it. I would not have done this review unless of my wife. So thank my wife for this. My wife wanted to go and watch this movie. So, of course, me being the lovable husband that I am, we went ahead and go and watched it. We had a great time. And if there will be ever a sixth Purge movie in the works and out in theaters, for sure, me and my wife we will already have tickets ready to go and watch this thing. So we'll see what happens in the near future if this Purge movie, the sixth Purge movie, will take an effect. So I think that I have said everything in references to this movie, The Forever Purge. That would be my review. What did you guys think? Did you like it? Did you hate it? If you have any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns, please feel free to leave it down in the comment section at the bottom. Let's have an awesome time talking about this movie or any movies that you like to talk about in general, because I love to talk about movies, but most importantly, I love to talk about them with you. And don't forget that you can check out some more of my videos on Facebook and on YouTube. Just look me up at Awesome Joe Movie Reviews on Facebook and on YouTube. Don't forget to click on the like and subscribe button there, you guys. I really do appreciate everybody's support on my channel. It's a huge personal hobby of mine, and I really love doing it. Not only for myself, but for you guys. So for right now, there is still so much movies that are happening in the world of movies and coming back to the theaters. I believe now they're going to be coming. We're going to be working on next is Snake Eyes and M. Night Shyamalan's Old. So stay tuned for those, everybody. There's still so much more to talk about, and I really do hope that everyone continues to stay tuned in for those. So I'm Awesome Joe, everybody. Keep on living the dream, and as always, stay awesome. Thanks you guys once more again, and I'll see everybody on the next video. Bye.